for my position, I think my only position is that it's lopsided with the Boys and Girls. I don't think Marge meant every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Okay, I'm sorry if I mischaracterized it, but it sounded like you wanted to spread funds across the entire commission area. No, the funds are intended to be most service to the folks that live closest to where the development is taking place.
And I think a part of the small area plan was, it actually was added on the small area plan to have a community group, like a bids, right? I think that was part of it.
It's in there about the
Right.
rec center and all that.
I want to say something. When you come down, you always say something about Service Quarter area. You come down First Street, you see how they do the different, the lighting and everything. When you come across New York Avenue, you come down New York Avenue, when you get to New York, the North Capitol Street is dark, the lighting, everything. You don't come to the tree cuttings and everything. The lighting is not there. You come from New York Avenue and the unit block unit and First Street and North Capitol Street, the lighting is different. So when you get to the unit block of New York and First Street and North Capitol Street, it's dark. You hit from New Jersey Avenue, it's light. You can see the difference, okay? You can spread the money and you can look at the difference in the lighting and everything. Ride along New York Avenue and First Street, the lighting, the darkness is different. You can come and see the lighting, everything. The money is spread, come on, money need to spread, come in and look and see the difference. Coming from Shaw area to Northwest 1 area is a big difference. See yourself, everybody come see yourself.
Yeah, this Mid-City East plan.
Y'all, Mr. Whole point. You spread the money and see the difference.
So to clarify, I would presume, and you can correct me if I'm mistaken, but the current DDOT standards for lighting and for streetscapes will be applied to the redevelopment of this area. So all of those blocks are completely redone. So the lighting is going to be consistent with what is being done in other parts of the city now.
Spread the money. Y'all talking about, it's not a
So
certain
if I could
order.
just clarify, the application is for first stage
Yes.
PUD with the related map amendment from R4.C3C. And then we also have separately a pending street closing application, which we would like the commission to support in accordance with the committee's recommendation or vote last week.
Okay.
So I would do a friendly amendment then.
Did we?
Well,
Antonio. Okay, you made a motion. What do you want it was as your friendly
So
amendment?
just to say that the community benefits needs to be reevaluated. That this is not a set number, so that we're agreeing to.
So either you're approving the application or you're not approving
I mean, but I'm just, if that's part of it, I can't go, I mean, if it's automatic, like the Boys and Girls Club is gonna get this $200,000 windfall, I can't, I mean, I just think it has to be, that has to be thought about some more.
Okay,
I'm
I think,
for the project, I am.
I think what we
100%
need
for
to
the
say
project.
is we're looking to promote the variances and the PUD and the motion as Antonio has presented it. I think we need to state as a friendly amendment, we would like to work with the Sursum Quarter community to look at the community benefit package and perhaps make changes. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that fine with you? Okay. All in favor? Or,
I'm sorry, did I hear that Antonio approved the friendly amendment?
oh, I'm sorry, do
Because he's
you,
the maker of the motion.
I mean, well, yes, I do approve that. I mean, as I stated, I guess it would be nice if someone from an ANC was to sit on the board, if there was
Would
on the
you
board.
consider
If you all consider it.
if we amended the package to say, to include a member from ANC 6E?
I mean,
Right.
that's fine, but I just think the bottom line is, it just.
I think there has to be a little bit more,
Yeah,
a little more discussion on the
Yeah.
benefits package. That's all we're suggesting.
We're open. to
Yeah,
that.
that's,
Okay.
that's all.
Open to
All right.
Because the project itself is.
Are you accepting, Antonio, that we take a second look at the benefit package?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then all in,
And the recommendation recommendation that there be a representative from the commission.
And an ANC, someone from 6E would sit on the board. Okay. Any other?
Board of,
Boys and
The
Girls
Boys and
Club
Girls.
number 2.
No.
Well, no, to.
No, to sit with the people from Sursum Quarter.
No, but,
Well, right, we
well,
were,
she was talking about the board.
Yeah, we're not talking, no, we're only saying that amount of money needs to be looked at in the way its distribution is placed at the present time. What we're suggesting is that somebody needs to sit with Sursum Quarter to look at all the reasons why we're doing 200,000 to this one, 40,000 to that one, and make sure that there's good reasoning and sound economics behind it.
yes.
That's all I'm suggesting.
So,
so the
Antonio,
benefits have to come back to the
we can
commission.
get together. So,
Yeah, the community benefits would have to come back to the commission at a later date for approval. But we're gonna
Prior.
vote to approve the PUD stage 1 and so you're moving ahead. But as an addendum, we'd like you to come back and we'll have some meetings and then we'll come back and present to the community a revamping perhaps, maybe not. But
how soon can we do that?
Well, it'll be before February 22nd, February 11th public hearing.
oh, absolutely. We can do whenever you guys want to set up a meeting. I mean, I think that's just a couple of people sitting and going over and just looking at all the numbers and where they're going and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay? So, all in favor of supporting the PUD, stage 1, the everything,
Amendment,
the map amendment, the street closure
street closing application.
street closing application, and that we will set up a meeting and talk about a benefits package and come back to the community with that. All in favor, please signify. Aye. Okay, so it is 2-6, I'm sorry. You'd think I'd know it by the end of the night. It's 6-0-0.
And is this going to be communicated in writing to somebody?
Yeah, it will go to the zoning
To
commission.
the zoning commission?
Yes.
Is it all right if I add that to the motion?
Yeah, we'll get.
Well, you can give, who else it has to go to. It's gonna go to zoning and
we'll
street
prepare
closure, or
some-
whoever else it has to go to. You'll just give us
Yeah.
that information. Not a problem. Okay,
Thank
you're all
so
set.
much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for all coming again. We really appreciate it.
Set up a meeting.
Okay, 1537 to 1541 6th Street.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Josh Gagel. I'm with the law firm of Griffin, Murphy, Moldenhauer, and Wiggins. And I am here with the applicant Ditto Residential LLC, with Dan Roth, a representative from Ditto. And also, we have two community members here in support of our.
And please, as you're leaving, please keep your voices down so that we can continue with the meeting. Thank you.
And we also have two members of the community who live right in the immediate vicinity here. And so in the interest of time, I'm going to let Dan introduce himself very quickly. Then I'll run through the project, and if the commissioners don't mind, I'd let the community members speak just two seconds.
My name is Dan Roth. I'm with Ditto Residential. As Jackie mentioned, I'm going to keep this very short. I have a very pregnant wife who is due tomorrow. So, yeah, brevity is key for me. Ditto Residential is a small real estate development company here based in Washington, D.C. We do a significant portion of our work within this neighborhood. And as Jackie mentioned, we have 3 small vacant lots we're trying to redevelop at 1537, 1539, and 1541 6th Street. So I'll let Ajake handle all the specifics, but thank you for having us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
So, the property, as Dan mentioned, is located at 1537 through 1541 6th Street Northwest. It is south of O, north of P. It fronts on 6th Street, and it is west of 5th Street. If you look at the image, that's the first part of your package, you will note that the property is currently vacant. It was previously improved with 3 structures up until at least 1965, but for reasons unknown to anyone here tonight, that property is currently vacant. And Ditto Residential seeks to develop the property with 3 flats. If you look at the zoning map, which is the second image in your package, you will note that this square, where the property is located, does not have any alley access. When they subdivided the square, they didn't put an alley in it. It's different than the square to the west, which does have an alley, but they just subdivided it that way. So in order to develop the property with 3 flats, we need a parking variance. So we presented to the zoning committee in October and in November, and they specifically asked us to do some things. When we presented in October, we had already started our community outreach and we had spoken to our adjacent neighbors. They both submitted a letter of support, which is included in the packets that you have before you now. But in the October meeting, the zoning committee requested that we go back out and continue to do community outreach, which is one of the reasons we have some community people here tonight. And by the time we went back in November, we had 7 additional letters of support from neighbors who live on that block and one who lives on 5th Street supporting the request. Because like us, many of them do not have alley access and they know what it's like to need parking in this area. One other thing that the zoning committee requested of us was to see what DDOT thought about putting curb cuts at this property. Included in your package, you will see an email communication with DDOT putting in writing that they would be unsupportive at curb cuts at this location. And though they don't state why in the email, the reason is because in order to do a curb cut, you have to take away parking from someone who currently has parking on the street. So DDOT is unsupportive of parking in this location. One thing that we pointed out during our meetings with the zoning committee is that unlike many areas in the community where, I don't know if you can see this, our property is here. Let me turn it this way. This property is uniquely located in the sense that you have Kennedy Playground here and Bundy Field here and a school right here. So unlike other areas where it's completely surrounded by residences, the demand for parking is reduced at this particular location because there are no homes here, no homes here, and no homes here. So in the evening, when people return from work, there is parking available along P Street and along 5th Street. So we are here tonight after the zoning committee in November. They did vote to support our project. We were here before the full ANC seeking their support for our variance request. And I wanted to give those who came from the community an opportunity just to say 10 seconds, if they don't mind. So Jason, do you mind? And I think Kristen is here. I guess only one of them needs to speak.
Hi, Jason Bonet. I'm actually the neighbor, 1543 6th Street Northwest. Kristen and I both live in that condominium. As condominium president, she can vouch as well. We 100% fully support this project and the variance, and I've been an owner there for over 10 years. And it's been vacant for as long as I've known too. So very excited that finally there's activity here and we'll actually have neighbors that live there. So yeah, in full support of this.
Oh, and I just wanted to mention, after the zoning meeting in November, Alex requested that I get back in touch with Kevin, who is our single member district. I called him on Wednesday and he informed me that he is now supportive of the project, and I emailed him all the letters of support that we had received and the letter from DDOT. So just crossing that T.
Yeah, I got an email from Kevin today that unfortunately he's out of the country, but that he did support this project. Young lady, did you want to say something?
I just want to echo that Jason and I have talked to the other owners in our building, which is right next door to the empty lots, and we've all definitely agreed that the variance is the way to go.
Okay. We did not want to give you a chance.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question. So how many units are going to be here? What's the?
It's 3 flats, so 6 units in total.
So we've had this discussion. I don't
It's
know
the
how
same
many
as
times.
Noonan.
Yeah. So why
Bushmore.
not put in there instead of I know I'm just going to sound crazy, but I've gone down this road before with another development. why not put in there that that these residents do not get any sort of parking sticker, parking anything?
So we talked
So that
about,
was just, because when you said, well, there's not a parking problem, that's all we talk about is our parking problems. That's all we talk about. So I can't imagine this little part of Sixth Street not having a parking problem.
I said and if I misspoke, please let me correct myself. I said the demand for parking is reduced in this particular location because unlike other squares, 3 parcels immediately in the vicinity of this particular property are not developed with homes. So there's no home here, and no home
You
here.
have Springfield Church right down the block.
But it's not but people come to church and then they go back home. They don't live there. But to address your question, we did discuss at the last zoning committee meeting about an RPP restriction. And at this time, the developer does not want to do that. One, because this entire square does not have an alley, and we don't want to create a second-class neighbor, especially when we've gone out and done a lot of community outreach and contacted our adjacent neighbors who are both supportive of the project. So at this time, we're not, we don't want to limit the future owners and neighbors of who will be living here. And it was discussed at the committee meeting, and the committee did not include that as part of their recommendation, but it was discussed.
I mean, I'm just saying that is all I talk about all the time, and for anyone to say that it's, whether it's committee or not committee or the neighbors, that it's irrelevant, I just find it hard to believe. So that's all I talk about.
All I can say is that these future residents are going to be similarly situated as the other residents who currently live on this block. And it, to us, and to the, at least, I mean, I can't speak for the developer, but to create a second-class neighbor when every other neighbor will be parking on the street, and I forgot to mention, forgive me, this property is 0.03 miles away from the Shaw Metro, and it is within 1 mile of all lines, all metro lines in the district. So I don't know if the people here are going to have cars, but this location is perfectly situated for someone who does not have a vehicle, because you can access all metro lines, you can get to Union Station and access the trains, and there's a grocery store 2 blocks away. So as far as being a place that is conveniently located for someone who doesn't have a vehicle, this property is. That was also discussed at the zoning committee, and I'm sure that's something that's been discussed when we've conducted community outreach.
I can assure you they will bring their cars.
Yes.
And-
Probably so. But we did have a very similar situation in your single-member district a couple of times, and we followed.
I did not get the support, so I don't, because
Well-
the neighbors, let me tell you, they will bring their cars, and then a year down the road, they'll be like, I can't find a spot.
Well, you live in a city, that's the way life lives.
I'm
You
just
know, in New
telling you,
York,
I
you
have
drive
every
around
day
for
this
2
time.
hours before you find one.
To me, the
But-
answer is not to give
okay.
them the sticker. The
All right.
our people.
That's your comment. Anyone else want to make a comment? Okay.
You let some people from the neighborhood speak. Can you let anybody else speak about this?
Sure.
I came here because I heard there was going to be talk about a protected bike lane, and I just want to make sure that there's parity for cyclists. If there was a way that it was going to take up more parking and a bike lane, you'd be taking parity away from cyclists and.
Yes, there is talk of a bike lane. The bike lane is being considered on 6th Street in 2 directions, on 7th Street and on 9th Street.
And you talk a lot about affordable housing. This is affordable transportation.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, 7th Street has been excluded. So it's 9th Street, 6th Street, and a possibility of a one-way going up 5th and coming down 6th, because 5th becomes one-way. From Howard University to the National Mall, that's what they're talking about. We have not been given any other information yet. So to discuss bike lanes at this point is a little bit early,
Well,
but I do understand what you're saying.
I think it is prejudice if you don't consider parity for cyclists.
Well, this is on a side street, isn't it? It's on Sixth, right? Yeah. Front's on Sixth, okay.
I'm asking if they could show a plan that would show if there was a bike lane, it wouldn't affect parity for cyclists.
Well, if in fact the city takes lanes for a bike lane, it's going to affect parking on all of Sixth Street from Howard University down to the National Mall. But at this point, we can't make a judgment on something that isn't even in process yet. So I'm sorry to say that.
I guess DDOT would have more information than you.
At this point, yes, sir, they would. There are a number of suggestions out there, but they are getting flack from some of the churches, from some of the people, as to which street is the best place to have a bike lane. So it's not moving very quickly. I don't anticipate that by the time this property is developed, it will even be in the presentation stages.
Well, I'm sure they would consider it, because they're professionals.
You mean the city?
Yeah.
Well, everyone has their opinion. I'm sorry, yes, you're absolutely right.
Well, are you a transportation professional?
No, I am not.
Okay.
And I don't claim to be. Don't ever claim to be. So, in any case, we did vote last month and the month before for projects that were very similar to this one, and the committee actually chose to support the building of this project. It's landlocked, there's no other, otherwise the lots would remain vacant forever and ever and ever till you die. And we didn't want to see that happen. We would like to see more and more people coming into our community. So I'm looking for someone to make a motion. You want to do that?
With Commissioner Chappell's support, I move that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6E support the zoning relief requested for the development of 1537, 1541 6th Street Northwest, and that we communicate that support to both the Board of Zoning Adjustment and the District Department of Transportation.
This is only for parking, correct?
No, this is for the building of the two.
It's
Parking
zoning
areas.
relief.
Yeah, it's just.
The only relief is parking, yes.
Yeah, we're
The only
only,
relief is parking.
we're only
Yeah.
requesting.
The only relief is parking.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's fine.
Okay.
Make that clear, if you could put that, only we're talking about parking here. The only one we're talking about.
That's the only thing we were.
That's the only thing they're asking for.
Right.
Okay,
It's not about building the building.
okay, I need a second. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Okay,
So we have
Wait a minute, who seconded that?
aye,
Was that
Aye.
Frank?
um,
Did you second?
all right, so we have 4 ayes.
I'm sorry, I didn't get who seconded the.
Frank seconded.
Okay.
So we have 4 ayes,
okay.
1 nay, 1 abstention, so your motion passes.
I want to thank everyone for their time tonight. I know we were last on this voting agenda, and I want to thank the 2 community members who came out, and thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Do you want me to recycle this?
Can I get a copy of the presentation?
Okay.
Or the-
We can't have a treasurer's report this evening because the treasurer is, okay.
Karen.
Oh, no, just, yeah. Okay. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let me then suggest and make a motion that we approve paying Karen for her note-taking for this ANC at a cost of $125, and approve for the December 1st meeting for our minutes, and that we also approve for Rochelle for the printing of the $525? For the printing of the newsletters, $525.58 to be given to the treasurer to write checks. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So unanimous. Okay. Is there any old business that we have to discuss? Oh, okay. Is it old business?
Yes, at last month's meeting, the commission supported the ABRA application for the Shaw Bijou Restaurant in 1544 9th Street Northwest. The applicant had requested in their presentation our support for a stipulated license, and I neglected to include that in the motion, so I am moving tonight that ANC6E support the issuance of a stipulated license for the Shaw Bijou at 1544 9th Street Northwest, and that we communicate that support to ABRA and the ABC Board.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? No opposition. Is there any new business?
Well, I'll make that as an announcement.
Okay. What time is it? Yeah, I know. What time is it?
8:44.
Okay. I just want to finish, our next meeting will be January 5th, 2016. And my girl, we're coming over. We're coming home. We're going to try to move back to the Northwest One Library. It will be announced. We will let everybody know. It will be on our website. It will be on Facebook. We will take care of business and let everybody know where we're going to be. We have time for some announcements.
I'm ready.
Go ahead, Rochelle.
Okay, so I have my 5th annual Caroling with the Commissioner coming up. It's a wonderful, fun event. It is going to be next Sunday, December 6th at 6 p.m. The group will meet at 4th and M Street by the Mount Vernon Bed and Breakfast. It is a great time. It's kind of like a little bit Charlie Brown. We're running around the neighborhood, but it's lots of fun. And then there's an after party at the Bed and Breakfast. So come on out Sunday the 6th at 6 o'clock.
I'm sorry, December 6th
At 6 o'clock.
Okay, first commissioners, if you don't mind.
I'd like to advise the community that on Saturday, the 5th of December at 12 noon, Shaw Main Streets is hosting a dedication ceremony for Carter G. Woodson Park and the memorial at 7th Q and Rhode Island Avenue. So we welcome everyone to come out and celebrate Dr. Woodson's legacy. This is the 140th anniversary of his birth, the birth of the father of Black history. And also on Monday the 7th at 7 o'clock at the Howard Theater from 7 to 10 p.m., Shaw Main Streets is sponsoring the annual holiday party. That's free to the public, free food and free beverages. All you need to do is to go online to RSVP, and you can get the information on the shawmainstreets.org website.
Excellent. We have 10 minutes. So, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, lady in the blue, you have an announcement also?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Tina Boyd. I'm here on behalf of the District Department of Transportation to invite you all to a public meeting being held next Thursday, December the 10th, right here from 6:30 to 8:30. And we're going to talk about phase 2 of the rehabilitation of the Howard Theater Streetscape project. As you know, for the Howard Theater, we worked on T Street and 7th Street between S and T. Now we're going to go from N Street all the way to Florida Avenue. We're going to replace the sidewalks. We're going to upgrade the traffic signals and the street lights, along with the trash receptacles and bike racks, and make everything ADA compliant as well. So please come out so you can hear about the schedule and about the project in specific and ask any questions. Thank you. I'm sorry, it's Thursday, December the 10th, from 6:30 to 8:30 here at the Shaw Library.
Would you send me an electronic copy so I can get it out?
Sure.
Now, you work for DDOT?
No, I'm a consultant.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, you have an announcement?
Yes, I want to announce that on Friday, December 4th at 6 to 8 p.m., the Henry C. Gregory Family Lifestyle Foundation, which is a nonprofit, housed at Shiloh, but it's a nonprofit, will be having a holiday jazz festival there, and there is a cost per person to raise money for the foundation. And that foundation is open to all people in the whole Washington Shaw area. We have basketball there. We have different kids there. Many kids from the Kennedy Center come over and play basketball on a daily basis over there. So it's a
community center, this nonprofit, I'm sorry, gentleman that was here that says no one goes shallow from over this area, and that's not true. But I'm happy to say that we are having this is a fundraiser for the Family Lifestyle Foundation on December 4th, Jazz Festival, for Christmas holidays. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to make one announcement as well. The ANC 6E did receive an enormous donation from businesses within our community, Jamal Douglas being a major contributor of Thanksgiving turkeys and all the trimmings for those folks in our area who could not have had Thanksgiving without it. I'd like to suggest that we ask Alex to send a letter of thanks to Mr. Jamal, letting him know that we really appreciate that he did that and allowed us to serve our community even more than we could have.
And Jefferson Apartment Group.
Oh, and just, okay, two groups, Jamal and Jefferson Apartment. Now, we actually have 10 minutes, and if you can do your presentation and do whatever in 10 minutes, we'll hear you tonight.
Are we all agreed that that's?
But that's all you got, because that guard out there, he is waiting to come in here and scream and shout, you gotta get out, you gotta get out.
Here's a handout. I emailed this to Alex, but just in case everyone can see.
Email to all the commissioners.
This is 930 French Street. My client has purchased it and is going to renovate it and add an addition on the third floor addition on top, and also an addition to the back. Your drawings show that even though we're adding an addition, it's set back 18 feet back from the front facade, and it's also sort of set down into the building. So the top of our third floor is only about 3.5 feet above the front parapet of the house. So in the first page you see on the lower left-hand corner, we've done sightline drawings, and you can't see this addition from anywhere on French Street. I did some aerial shots so you can see it on purpose, but we maintain that this addition is not visible from French Street. It's mostly not visible from 10th either. This afternoon we built a mock-up on the roof, scabbed some 2x4s with a top piece so you can see that it's not visible from French Street. You can actually see it from 10th and S, a block and a half away, through the trees, through the French Street Park, if you crouch and peek through the trees. So it's mostly invisible. The section on the second page shows that the white area is the existing house,